Underdog Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
He's gonna persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's an underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believed in, like, I took so many risks to make this thing happen, you know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
We're the bangers. For the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off, but she could I can reread.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdog Podcast. We back again, season 5, episode 21. The Art of Influence, Crafting Your Brand Story. Featuring Orlando's own songwriter, producer, audio engineer, and entrepreneur. CEO of Ultimate Talent Global. We got Flyodie in the building right now, man.
People.
Yo. What's going on, homie? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Blessed. Had a busy day. Happy to be here and drop some game.
Nah, most definitely, man. Yeah, I see you had a busy day, man. Working, man. Getting it in. That's what's up. Like I say, man, appreciate you taking time out your schedule to kick it with us, you know. As we push the importance of knowing thyself, you know, like in 30 seconds, who is Flyodie, you know, as a person outside the artist and entrepreneur, like what type of vibe are you, like, you fill the room with when you walk in?
Yeah, I know that I have the ability to change the energy in the room at any time. That's just something I've been blessed with. My mission is to spread great energy and to share great art and to help people, you know, figure out who they are and in doing so, craft a brand that can tell a story that's going to create an audience that's crazy about you.
Facts. I feel that, man. So as we're halfway through 2024, like, how has this year been treating you thus far? And what's some things you learned last year that helped you prepare for this year?
Things that I've learned this year so far is really to make some motion happen with whatever you want in life. You got to know exactly what you want. A lot of times we get caught up in wanting things and not really understanding exactly what we want, right? Or setting a SMART goal, something that's actually is time bound and that you have a way of structure your life to get to that point. I'm a very fly by night type of dude. I work very quick. I get an idea. I jump on the idea, right? So, you know, especially with UTG, we have Rich Brown, who is actually the CEO. I'm the founder of UTG, Chief Operating Officer of UTG. But he's kind of like the guy that slows it down. Hey, let's slow down. Let's make sure that we're doing X, Y, Z before we jump into it. I'm a go type of guy. So really just sitting down and being still and understanding that motion don't always mean like movement. Motion means like planning out what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So that's something that I've been really trying to tap into this year. Last year is just, you know, same thing, bro. Once again, I'm just an on-go type of dude. I'm always just trying to get to the next spot, but really sitting down and figuring out how you're going to navigate and get to that next spot, I think is very important. It's key.
I feel that, man, because like a lot of things, like even, you know, how I went about with the template to you, I like to just already pre-plan. And when I walk into it, I got my plan of action, you know. Sometimes I'll freestyle on the spot and stuff, but I feel like, all right, I go in with my best if I can at least plan it out, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man, before we get into the meat and potatoes, let's get the ingredients, you know, of this story. Like, can you describe the city, you know, you grew up in, and what was it like from your perspective, you know?
Yeah, man. I pretty much grew up in Orlando. I was born in Tallahassee. My pops played in the NFL. He got drafted by the 49ers. We went out to California. I did a little bit of elementary school there, a little bit of elementary school in Charlotte, North Carolina. But our family, my parents' parents are based here in Florida, Jacksonville and Polk County. So I pretty much grew up in Florida. I mean, shit, I grew up in the suburbs. I had a pretty easy life. And I played baseball my whole life. So, baseball is a game of failure. You fail 7 out of 10 times in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. So that already set me up for entrepreneurship, because that's what that is being able to fail and learn from those mistakes and continue to grow what you're trying to do. So growing up, played sports, was a normal kid, I guess. I didn't really do anything crazy in high school. Stuck to the academics. Always wrote music, though. Ever since I was 10 years old. My cousins rapped. I wanted to be like big cousins. Yeah. So, I'm on the laptop, the desktop at the crib, listening to instrumentals on the computer, just typing up my little raps. And that's when I really fell in love with it. And then fast forward, went to college my freshman year. I was playing baseball at the University of West Florida. And I started smoking weed. Had never smoked weed my whole life. And I fell in love with, smoking and being in the studio and being in that creative vibe. And my long story short, my roommate ended up getting drug tested. He got popped. He got 86 off the team. My coach was like, look, man, I can drug test you. If you fail, I'm going to pull the scholarship. If you tell the truth, you can come back next year. You won't have a scholarship. So I was really in a tumultuous place because I played baseball my whole life. My pops, did what he did in sports, and I didn't want to disappoint him. Yeah. I saw a quote in my communications class, and it was, musicians must make music, artists must paint, and poets must write. If they're to be ultimately at peace with themselves, what humans can be, they must be. So I called my pops. I said, hey, bro, I'm coming home to rap. He said, hey, bro, do what you do. Came home, did my first headlining show, sold about 300 tickets, which is pretty damn good for a first show. My second show opened up for J. Cole at the Beecham. And then from there was, Meek Mill, Tyga, Kendrick, Tory Lanez. Really got a great performance experience. And that was back in the day when you had to really go. It wasn't no internet like that. You had to really get out.
Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah, you had to go sell hard tickets. You had to go print out CDs and shit. That's how expensive people got to worry about our CDs, right? So it was just a different era. Back when I was doing my thing as an artist, I started managing an artist who was in the modeling lane, and I started tapping into that. One day it was like, I want to start a modeling agency. I had zero experience. I never modeled myself. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I did my first casting. 60 people pulled up, and I was like, shit, I guess I got a thing here. And from there, it's just grown and grown and grown. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to.
Nah, man, you definitely covered a lot, man, in the short, like in the brief segment, man. But like you say, back then, like early 2000, before digital and everything, like music was like, you got SoundClick, websites where like even the beats and stuff is so different now because you got like producers making tight beats or like this, but you would get on back then, like it was just a producer giving their own sound, like it just feel different,
SoundClick, bro, that's funny. And it's like the beats that you really wanted, you couldn't download, right? You could never get the free download on the good shit. You always got the trash shit on the SoundClick, man. That's so funny. Is that still a thing? SoundClick?
Yeah, it's still up right now. I even got I could find my artist profile still on there, but
wow. I got to. That's funny. SoundClick. I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah, and man, I remember a couple of them, like even spityourgame.com. I remember at one time. It was different, man. Like
it was so different, bro. You didn't have, and even like the blogs, right? The marquee thing back in the day was getting on WorldStar. And that's when they were hot and they were charging, thousands of dollars to get up there. Then you had to shoot the music video. Music video, if you were lucky, cost you around $1,000 between all your expenses. So right there, you're $2,000 in the hole as a 20-something-year-old kid. Like you ain't got that like that. So to be able to do that on a consistent level was very difficult for me. Back then. Just fast forward to this digital age, and now you can make a TikTok and blow up overnight.
Man,
so it's really cool to see how it's changed. I like it though. It's really leveled the playing field. Even production and making music as a whole is so much easier. I could record right here in this room. and I can make it sound like some shit that Drake would have recorded, right?
Yeah,
So the
man.
tech, and then the avenues to distribute your music and your content is, I mean, just fucking way better than when we had it.
Like it's just more resources, you know. What software were you using? Like, did you use like a Audacity, Sony Pro,
Back in the day or now?
Back in the day, before Pro Tools era.
Cool Edit, bro. Cool Edit.
Cool Edit.
I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I don't know if I heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a Cool Edit. Cool Edit. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. I never really did the GarageBand thing, but then now I'm on Logic. I'm a Logic dude.
Yeah, Logic is decent. Yeah. Cause you had
I like Logic. I've never really tried to crack open Pro Tools and run it yet, to be honest. I've always been on Logic.
It was like once things really started popping a little more with people like kind of like hands-on doing it themselves. I think Fruity Loops was a conversation, and I think Pro Tools, it started to merge back then too. It was so different though, because getting the access to Pro Tools was like, you know, it was kind of like to know somebody to get it, because like I said, getting the program was like crazy numbers back then.
Right. Now it's like $200.
Yeah.
And they hit you on the plugins. That's where they get you on the plugins and the subscription shit.
Yeah.
Even that business model, bro. Like, you're right. Software used to be very expensive. Now it's on the subscription model, which business-wise is a much smarter model. Like, I'm getting hit for the auto-tune, $25 a month. Auto-tune's like $199. They spruce it up with all the extras. Oh, you get all the auto-tune plugins for the $25 a month. Mm-hmm. Shit, by the end of the year, you know, spent what you could have spent just to get the program itself. So subscription model has changed a lot of shit. But even talking about subscription models, I think that's great for people who are building audiences, because now you have the opportunity to have this exclusive tier of what you're offering, and you're able to get paid for it. So subscription models are great, man. Shout out to the subscription models. Netflix, Disney, OnlyFans, all of
them. Yeah, for real. So like, you know, speaking of your dad, you know, you mentioned, you know, being in the NFL, like how did witnessing your father's dedication and success, you know, to the NFL influence, you know, your own aspirations and vision of what like success mean to you?
You know, when you grow up like that, it's hard to understand what that really looks like, because it's just your dad. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, looking back at it now, to make it to the league is hard, right? The odds of you actually making it to the league are very unlikely and very low. So for him to have done what he did and play at a high level, now when I think about it, you know, when I ask him, you know, how did you get to that point? And one of the key things he said to me was, you know, dude, I always was able to envision what I wanted to do. I would meditate before the game and see myself doing X, Y, and Z in the game. And when you read books like The Secret, right, you're talking about the law of attraction and things like that. That's what he was doing at an early age. So being able to do that and understand how he did that, that's how I've been going about my life the past couple of years. Is just kind of manifesting and thinking about the things that I want and paying attention to those things versus the things that I don't want, right? When you got problems and you focus on your problems, what the hell you get? More problems. So you know, that's one of the things, that key takeaways that I take away from him and what he was able to accomplish is you got to see yourself doing it first before it could happen in the flesh.
That's real. Nah, man, I like how see your answers in depth, man. It's like you knocking 2-3 of my questions out in one setting, bro. Like, hey, man. So let's talk about the artistry, though. You know, when it comes to composing music, like, which part of the process you enjoy the most? Like, is it the writing, you know, writing the material, producing, recording, or when it comes to performing the material?
So, I mean, I just started producing beats, and it's cool. I like it. I think just being a part of the whole process, just bringing the song together. And when you look at the person in the studio with you, and you look at, you feel like you got one or it feels right. And then going in and tighten up the mix. I'm real interested in being a part of the mixing process and the mastering process. So, I mean, but it starts with the pen. You got to have a great record. You got to have a great beat to it, and then the mix and master is what brings it home. So I mean, I really enjoy all parts of it, but I just enjoy being a part of it. So even when I have an artist, I'm not recording any of my own stuff. I have an artist come in and they have a great record, and I'm able to give some right on that, and I'm able to mix that record and bring that record to life the way they saw it in their brain. I feel a part of that as much as if it was my own record that I was putting out myself. So I mean, I really enjoy the whole process. I just like when people come to the studio prepared to work. I don't like playing in the studio.
Man.
We could play anywhere the fuck else. We in here, let's get it done. So yeah, man, I enjoy the whole process. I mean, the part that I don't like about it is the business part, which has to be done. But that's the least favorite part, right? If we could create music and everything was handled for us automatically, I think that everybody would like that a lot more.
Yeah, I feel that. How you say it's like you know, from the history of the industry, you always hear things about the business, you know, whether it's any type of part of the industry, entertainment, you know, sports, music. Everybody be like, you know, man, if I could have went back, or I would have read the contract or this and that, you know. But what you feel about, like, you know, back then you had to have like talent, you really had to have something to get on these labels, versus nowadays it's like you can do it yourself, and like you say, TikTok, you can just blow up overnight. Like, how do you feel about well, it's like a red and blue pill, you know, because it's like it was hard to get access back then, and it's like now it's so open, you know. But like, how
I
do you
mean, I like the fact that the underdog can compete now. And I like the fact that the underdog can compete and have leverage when you go into these deals. Back then, you would go into these deals, they were able to give you that motion that you needed if you had the talent or you had the look or you had whatever they were looking for. Now you don't have to have any of that. All you have to do is be consistent in your branding, be consistent in your message, and build a community around what you're doing. And that's for any niche. That's for music artists. That's for businesses. I love the fact that artists have the ability to compete. Nowadays, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a music video. You can shoot something on your iPhone 12 with great lighting, put it in CapCut, put some shit together, and if you use the right hooks and you use the right strategies that the platforms are pushing, you have an ability, or you have the ability to compete, and you don't have to have all the money. Now, when you have the numbers on your own and you nurture that community, now you have leverage in these label meetings when you're talking about signing a deal. You don't need X, Y, and Z like you would in the past. You've already built your own thing. So now you have leverage when it comes to your publishing, your royalties, your masters. Like, that's what all these artists are doing now. They're buying out their masters because they're realizing how much money that they were missing out on that. So I like the idea that, you know, you can do your own thing and walk yourself into a deal, or say no to a deal if it doesn't make sense. So you don't feel like you have to do it to get to the next level.
Nah, big fact. So when it comes to your musical inspirations, like, you know, who's Flyodie's top 5 dead or alive, and you know, why you choose them specifically? Like, what make them stand out to you?
Top 5 dead. I mean, dude, I'm a big Drake fan. I like Drake a lot because I can relate to him. I can relate to not sounding like that, you know, not talking proper. I got a lot of shit for that growing up. Now, oh, you talk white, you talk, you know what I'm saying? I can relate to that. I can relate to his journey more than I can relate to like somebody from the streets' journey, if that makes sense. I think he's a great artist. I think he stepped on the wrong foot and he got a lot. Kendrick was not playing. He got a lot more pressure, and you know, hopefully he's able to make a comeback, make some fire out of it, and get inspired. But I love that for hip hop. I love that he was able to bring Kendrick back out. I was a big Kendrick fan, still a big Kendrick fan. Got a chance to open up for him at the UCF Arena, so that was pretty cool. Second, I mean, not in any order, just people that I like. Second, I would say I like Boss Man D-Lo right now. He real hot in the streets. Shit, I don't even really be thinking about this. I be listening to a lot of local people.
That's real.
Top 5 dead or alive. I like Lotto. I think that's just for different reasons.
Yeah.
I'll let my wife see this. Lotto's dope. I actually think the females have been killing the game lately. I like Glorilla. I like
Yeah, Glorilla can spit.
she can spit. She got a hot record right now. I like this chick Alicia Creddy. Alicia Creddy, you gotta check her out. She's still up and coming. She's really dope. I don't really got a list, but those are people that I like and that I listen to frequently. But Alicia Creddy, she's a beast, phenomenal songwriter, and that's just on love. I've never met her. She's just up and coming that y'all got to check out.
Nah, for sure, man. So, what would you say out of your entire catalog of music over 2 decades? Would you say are your best work over time, from the beginning of your artistry to current? Like Flyodie's top 6. Like I added extra just because of your longevity and transitions throughout the years in music.
So I'm in a weird space about my music catalog. Like it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's got some stuff. It shows my growth. That's what's the most important to me. I mean, I got a ton of projects, bro. Like as far as projects, I would say I got a project called Justin Got Me Fired. That's probably my favorite project. I used to work at a hookah lounge. I used to give the homies free hookah. One night I wasn't there. One of the homies pulled up. The dude charged her for the hookah. He's like, Floyd never charges me for the hookah. So I got fired and I ended up doing a whole mixtape about it. It was dope. I got a project called Fedora. That was really when I was coming into more of a musical, like a how can I explain it? More of like that Currency, Wiz Khalifa type of vibe back in the day when it was like less trappy and getting more backpacky. I always felt like in my journey with rap, I had to do like that hard gangster shit, and that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like during the time that we were coming up, that was the hot shit, and I felt like I had to portray that. So I got a lot of projects that I'm not in love with now. But once again, it just shows the growth. So I don't even have 6 albums out. I couldn't even give you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But right now I'm just focused on writing for other artists. I'm focused on just still being a part of the process. A guy that is a good friend of mine, Gene Culver, he does the music placement conference. He said to me, artists are like light bulbs. They burn out. You need to focus on trying to be the power plant. And I think that's the phase that I'm in right now is trying to be the power plant. So I have not 6 records that are all my all-time favorite. I got 100 records and placements with 50 different artists. So I think I'm more focused on that now. I don't really have a project where I'm like in love with, and I would go listen to right now once I get off the call with you because I love it so much. If that makes sense.
Nah, facts, man. Like I was just thinking, like I say, over 20 years in music, man, like it's more so like, man, you can't just break up with it. It's just always gonna be you can't necessarily get away from it. Now look, you found another way to be involved on the other end. Now you writing.
Right. And that's the thing that I think that people can understand is like, you don't have to be the star to make money in this business. You can be the A&R, you can be the engineer, you can be the producer, you can be the businessman at the top of the food chain. I mean, a lot of these people were musicians at one point, and they figured out, hey, this, even the guy, I had a podcast with a music business lawyer or a music lawyer today, and he was in a band. He used to play bass, but he found, okay, cool, I can better serve this industry by becoming a lawyer, knowing the law and protecting artists. So I think that's a realization that some artists got to come to. And it's kind of a tough one because it's like, you can't tell a motherfucker you're too old. You got to let a motherfucker chase his dreams. I think that's just something that somebody has to realize for themselves. How else can I be of service to this industry that I'm in love with?
Nah, facts, man. Because I feel like it's like talent stacking. Like everything is still connected.
Right.
You're doing this or doing that, but it all go together. It's not like, something that's not related to music and you trying to force it and it just don't go together. It's like 2 blocks. One's a circle, one's a square, and they don't connect. But nah, definitely. So what are some key lessons or insights you gained, as an audio engineer that influenced your music production, like as you're going into it right now?
So what was the question again?
So like, what are some key lessons or insights you gain, you know, learning the audio engineering, you know, that's influencing your music production?
Being able to try new stuff. You know, when you have the ability to record yourself at home in the comfort of your own home, with nobody listening to you, nobody judging you, you're gonna be willing to try different things. You're not on a time crunch, so you're gonna take that extra take that you need to get to make sure that you have the sound, the tonality in your voice, or you get the line down right. You know, just being able to engineer yourself, or engineer myself, has been a huge part of my process. There's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't I mean, shit, back in the day, it wasn't cool to sing. It wasn't cool to have the melodic shit. It wasn't cool to use auto-tune. So,
Right.
you know, I would stray away from stuff like that. Hence, once again, me rapping about the shit that I didn't live and shit that I didn't do, because I felt like that's what I had to do, when I always felt that I had more to my artistry than I was letting out, because I was worried about what people would think about it. So I think that, you know, a key insight of being an engineer is, especially if you're an artist, is being able to try new things, and see what the fuck you're capable of. So that's one thing I would say, the benefit of being my own engineer and having the ability to do it. And then you just hear music way differently. You know, I would suggest any artist invest in a small home setup, and, you know, still get your shit professionally mixed and mastered. But if you have the ability to record something, because you might have a beat that you like and you rapping over it and it sounds good in the air, but if you're able to lay it down, you might be like, you know what, actually I don't like that. So now you don't go to the studio and waste 2 hours recording the song that you're not going to like. You're able to lay it down and see what it sound like and see what it felt like. So I think that just being, you know, having common knowledge or basic knowledge of being able to engineer yourself is important.
Yeah, I feel that. Like you say, you know, it's a big investment if, you know, somebody want to be an artist, that, like you say, now with the resources, with the comfortability of your home, you can be there and just practice your flow, your cadence, get everything down, like, you know, to where you're developing your artistry more. So when you do go to the studio, like you say, you're not wasting time and not trying to learn in there already. It's like the studio is like going to the field and it's game time. Like,
right, 100%.
It's not
100%.
the locker room. It's not practice. It's game time now.
100%, especially when you're paying for it, bro. Like,
Right.
And I feel bad, and I had to like separate like my heart out of it, because people are coming in there and just not getting nothing done, and I feel bad, because I feel like people, you could come to the studio with me, you could record it, you could probably release the record that I give you, that because I'm mixing on the go, I've got templates. But when we don't get anything done, I feel kind of bad. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you knew you had a session, you pulled up 15 minutes late. Now you want to freestyle over the YouTube beat? Like, you don't even got it like that. You're not even that good. So, you know, I think that preparation is key when it comes to getting in the studio. Unless you got a limited amount of money and you cool blowing a bag, and because I'm not the cheapest engineer in the city, I'll tell you that right now. So, you know, if you're coming to me, you know what you're coming for. If you want to spend $25 an hour, then you know where you can go. But it ain't over here.
Thanks, man. Hey, price is up, man. I say they just gotta come ready, you know. But I respect that. Like you say, you let them do it. They do it. Their money is what you spend your money on. You spend your money on. You know, it's like you can't hold nobody's hand. It's like it's a lesson learned from there. You know.
Right.
So before we transition, there was a statement you posted, you know, in response to the latest senseless violence that has been brewing in the hip hop community. And it seems as if it's only getting worse. Like, let's touch on your perspective with the issues in our community. It seems as if hip hop genre, like, is doing more harm than helping us, as much as influence as it has in our culture. You know, definitely major red flags with things being promoted. Like, what's your take on this?
I think I might have been emotional in that response. I don't think it's hip hop culture. I think it's more, I meant rap culture.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between the two.
Hip hop and rap, yeah, big facts.
Hip hop is, you know, early 90s. Rap is, you know, something that came after that. I don't know the history, but that's just what I feel. I just think that, you know, we as a people, as Black and brown people, we want to always blame everybody else but ourselves. Yeah. And we want to blame the corporations and, oh, this person's promoting this. And it's, you know why they're promoting it is because we're buying it. in business, in any kind of business, if people aren't buying it, you're not going to sell it for very long. And it's a double-edged sword, bro, because on one end it's the entertainment industry, and some of the music is fun, some of the shit is vibey. Like Kendrick's hottest song, arguably one of his hottest songs, is a diss record about another nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how, and we're excited about it. And I can't lie, it feels good when it's in the club. It's got the right beat.
Yeah.
It's just hard to draw that line where like it's entertainment and it's real life. Like really going out and spinning a block on a nigga and probably not just hitting him, but hitting somebody else that don't deserve it. Or, like even the whole Fulio shit, like you're shooting up a Holiday Inn parking lot, kids and families. That's like a holiday. That's the type of people that stay at Holiday Inns.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to kill this nigga so bad for what? I just never understood that. And maybe I grew up in a different environment, and I think that probably has a lot to do with it. But I don't understand that. Like you're taking somebody out the game forever, right? And we're kids, we're young now. We're gonna get older, and there's gonna be so much more to life. And I don't know, man. I really don't even know how to get into it. I really don't know how to change it all. It just I don't know. Just the provoking other people and like talk about the people dead, family members and shit. It's just crazy to me, bro. I don't know. I wasn't raised like that. So when I see it only happen really in our community, bro, in our genre, it strikes a chord. No A minor. And it's funny because a lot of people were getting upset with me about that opinion. But if you slide over the two, because it wasn't just one post, I explained it. Like there's no other genre that's doing this.
There's
no other genre where you can't show me 40 country artists that have been shot and killed. You can't show me 40 R&B artists that have been shot and killed. You can't show me any other genre where 40 people have been shot and killed in the past couple of years. Like it's not even like we talking about over. Like there was a video, the image I found online that was posted in that post too was like 30 people, and these people were just over the past couple of years. I have clients that I've recorded who have brought homies to the studio that I've shaken hands with, and give me 1 second because I gotta get this thing on the charger real quick.
All
right. That have brought people to the studio. We shaking hands, dapping these dudes up. A week later, they coming back telling me, yo, you remember so-and-so you met last week? Yeah, bro, what's up? Oh, yo, he got shot. And it's just like, damn, bro, he was just here. But then you listen to the music and you look at the way that they carry themselves, bringing this kind of weapon, submachine guns and shit to the studio. I'm just like, bro, what the hell are y'all not? None of that. It's just the life that people choose to live. You got choices, and you can blame your environment, you can blame whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it starts with you and it starts with us. So if we want to fix it, we have to understand where to draw the line between entertainment and real life. Even with the Drake and Kendrick beef, ain't nobody finna die over that. You know what I'm saying? Like Meek Mill and Drake, ain't nobody finna die over that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's entertainment. But going to somebody's dead homie's grave and standing over it and disrespecting it and making a whole song about them that goes viral. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What kind of retaliation do you expect? And then you got people on the internet encouraging this shit, like, oh, you gotta go spend the block. Like people who never would do that shit, and they like, oh, you gonna let that happen? You gonna spend the block? And then you got these niggas like Charleston White over here, like talking all his shit, being the type of dude he is. It's just like, we want growth, we want reparations, we want this, and we want that, but we don't want to help ourselves first. So, a long story short, I don't like what we're doing to ourselves as a people, and I think that we need to wake the fuck up and make some changes.
Facts, man. Everything you said, I fully agree with what you said. You had a reason to feel like you feel. That's why I responded and said, what it is. Like everything is happening right in front of our faces. It's nobody hiding their hand. It's not a secret. It's happening right in front of your face. Like you say, the way you grew up and the experiences, it's like it's hard to understand it from a different side, then versus like, I grew up in the community, like, right in Orlando, right on the west side. Everybody, they say everything about Orlando ain't Disney for the glorified for the negativity, you know. And when I grew up, you know, I'm on saying it's a pattern, you know. So it's like a fish in a small tank. You keep a fish in a small bowl, it's gonna never grow, you know. So growing up, I never understood a lot of things of what was going on, whatever. It just growing up, I knew, hey, I'm from this side, and anybody else that ain't from this side is just whatever with them. We see them, it's senseless. It don't make sense, you know. It's a bunch of not making sense, you know. As I look back and think about it now, I'm like, look, they gentrifying a lot of these areas now. All these places that people was growing up repping and saying I'm from here and all that stuff. Nobody owns a block. A lot of people died in these areas and stuff like that. It's either demolished or now it's gentrified and turned into a new community. Like, you got this going on nationwide, you know, where it's like they're gonna keep moving these corporations and all that stuff while we distracted, you know, with being against each other. Like you say, the music is pure genocide now. You got the men, you know, the young males rapping about what they're gonna do to each other, the self-hate. You got the women, you know, the type of music they make as well, you know. So it's like, you know, people complain about when the like you say, everybody else, when the police choke somebody out and everything like that, you know, we want to tear up our own community just for them to come in and, you know, do what they do. But it's a lot of red flags, man.
We just want an excuse to be angry, and at some point you got to stop being angry. You got to start getting active.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, once again, you play the victim, you're gonna be a victim. If you play like the winner, you're gonna become the winner. So I understand, like, I get it. I understand marketing, I understand branding, I understand all those things, and why Sexy Red is marketed the way that she is, and Ice Spice, and, you know, why. I understand the why behind it. What I want us as a people to realize is, like, guys, it's entertainment. This is the entertainment industry, because it makes a lot of money. But there's no reason to die about this shit. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to go take this man away from his kids about this shit. It's just music. And maybe it's not just music. Maybe it really is a way of life. And once again, I didn't grow up that way, so I can't speak to that. I also understand it's a lot deeper than this. I understand that it's redlining, and it's, I mean, you talk about putting a fish in a small bowl and it never growing. I mean, you put these communities, like these projects together, and you strip the resources, and then now everybody's just fighting for resources. That's what it really comes down to, is people were fighting for resources. And then now resources become weapons, resources become dope, shit that we didn't know how to fucking make. Like, obviously the shit was put there, it was taught to us. I get all of that. It gets deep.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, how long can we blame that? How long do you want to blame? Like, okay, cool. Well, what can you do right now to make this shit better?
I feel like people got to learn to be individuality. You got to learn to think for yourself. And I think a lot of people will like I say, growing up, everybody following something and don't know why they, you know, but you reach a point, you know, somebody, the light bulb goes off in their mind, with like, hey, this ain't right. Or you either lead a community, travel, see something different, and learn, like, hey, this is not life. Like, and then, like you say, like on the outside looking in, you know, I'm the outside looking in now, and I'm like, man, this is messed up. Like, it's crazy, you know, to look back and still see the same type of behavior going on. But it's like, only way I could change, instead of people complaining, talking about it, is like, if you're not being a solution to the problem, don't say anything. Just don't even talk about it. Don't complain. You're not being no type of solution to the issues, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like with this platform here, for instance, I felt some type of way about, like I say, the entertainment industry or whatever, when you interviewing certain artists and they go in there voluntarily sharing these negative experiences and all that type of stuff, you know, on these big platforms, stuff like that. I'm like, nah, that ain't right, man. Like, we got to create a safe space where people can come on here and we give them their flowers and speak positivity into them, you know, and let them give a learning curve about their story. Like, I don't like the narrative. So to change the narrative, got to do something towards it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you want something that you never had, you got to be able to do the things or willing to do the things that you've never done. So if you're gonna keep doing the same shit, you're gonna keep getting the same result. But yeah, man. In a nutshell, I just, I don't think anybody should die over shit like this,
Right.
even if it's not related to the music, even if it's related to the gang shit. I mean, what's really the end goal with that? Till everybody's taken out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I understand it. I understand the marketing and shit behind it. I just don't like when niggas die.
Nah, for real.
Because that
Like,
shit is permanent. It's permanent,
Mhm.
bro. And I seen Big Sean say in an interview, he was like, when Nip died, he was like, you affecting generations, dog. You're not just taking him out the game, but now you're changing the dynamic of how his children are raised, their thought processes. Who are they gonna go to when they got problems as they get older and as they're coming into adulthood? You messing up the finances, you messing up the future business. Like you know what I'm saying? Like future, he could have had more children. It's just like you don't understand the impact of that when you kill somebody or when you take out the wrong person. And then a 3-year-old gets hit for what? Because they were in their front yard. So I mean, once again, I just don't like when people die over senseless acts of violence. It's not my thing. It's not something that I enjoy.
Yeah, I respect that, man. That's why, like, one of my favorite artists is Tupac Shakur, because the stuff that it's like he was ahead of his time, because the stuff that he was talking about is like current day, just about. But one thing he always said, he never preached to do harm to his own people, and that's how I feel internally. Like, I don't want to purposely just wake up and just do something to my people. Like, I don't want to even put that in the atmosphere like that. But yeah, man, we'll see how everything. So something's gonna transition, definitely. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna have to be one of them big situations where it wake everybody up.
Well, I guess I did see at Kendrick's show. I guess there was Bloods and Crips that were picking it, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that's cool, bro. Like you can be over here, he could be over here. Y'all can still be. It's still straight. Once again, I don't know the nuances of gang culture. I don't know the nuances of shit and grow up like that. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a nigga's gonna get upset at me for thinking this way. But yeah, man.
Man, if they were knowledgeable, they would know when gangs really originated. They were really like for the neighborhoods. It's just when that shift happened. But yeah, man, enough on that topic, man. So let's get back to, the real deal. So CEO of Ultimate Talent Global agency that specializes in creating branding and marketing strategies for models, content creators, entrepreneurs, and artists. What inspired this transition from music to coaching?
So to kind of be clear, I know my branding is a little confusing sometimes. So Ultimate Talent Global is a model and influencer agency. What we do is we book talent for whatever you need talent for. Influencer marketing campaigns, you need promo models for your exhibit, you need model for a music video. That's what UTG does. What Flyodie does is branding, personal branding. And that's something that I've recently got into, but something that I didn't realize that I was doing my whole career, was building a brand and helping other people build brands too. So would transition from music to like the culture and getting into like the modeling agency. Once again, it's a managing artist who did modeling. So that's how I got into the agency thing. I got into the branding because I was just putting out content, talking to artists, and they were really feeling it and then reaching out to me and being like, yo, check out my page. Let me know what you think. And I go there and it's just, you couldn't tell they were an artist, or it was all over the place. So what I realized is that these artists that are really doing well on social media and they have, viral videos, if you go to their page, you can see the clear distinction between, their artist profile and somebody else's artist profile. So music is just a very small portion of what It's just the product, right? The brand is the foundation of who you are. So when somebody sees your brand, now they're buying the merch, or now they're buying the $150 meet and greet ticket because your branding is there. And I think that's one thing that a lot of artists miss. We get very excited to put our music out to the world that we don't think about all the things that come around that. And just understanding that music is just a small piece of marketing material, essentially, to get people back to the brand. When you have that understanding, you're able to make a lot more money and make more moves with your business. So I really got passionate about wanting to help artists with that, man, and getting that foundation set so that they can be successful and actually make money off this shit. Because if you're not, it's just an expensive hobby.
Nah, I feel that, man. 'Cause it's like, just not having a plan, like you said in the beginning, set your mind to something tangible and work towards it, So could you walk us through your process, like briefly, of developing a personal branding strategy for a recording artist versus an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, at the core of it, you both entrepreneur and artists have to understand who they're talking to, right? So as an artist, you can't make music for everybody. There has to be a core audience that you're looking to speak to. In business, there has to be a core audience that you're looking to speak to. When speaking with an artist, one of the first things I ask is like, who's listening to your music? If you don't know who's listening to your music, or you don't have a lot of fans, okay, well, who are you trying to speak to? Okay, I'm trying to speak to the college kid who is the underdog who wants to prove everybody wrong. Okay, cool. Well, what kind of artists make music like that? I mean, I guess you could argue that Kendrick, not really like the dropout, but just like the underdog. Even Drake at one point was an underdog. So looking at their journeys, okay, cool. What does my music sound like? Okay, cool. It sounds kind of like Drake's music. Okay, cool. Well, let's start making a brand around that. Like, what's that brand feel like? What's that look like? Your brand is a promise of an experience. So what's that experience feel like? Understanding those things and understanding your customer's journey. How are they seeing your music? Okay, cool. You got a video going viral. When they click your page and come to it, is it easy to find your music? Are your highlights on your page branded? Do you have an about me in your pin post? Do you have a website link in your bio? Do you have a link in your bio at all? Those are things that I start off when I'm looking at like an artist's social media. Same thing with an entrepreneur. Who are you trying to speak to? If you're selling a product or a service, who does that serve? How much does it cost? What's your unique selling proposition for whatever you're selling? Having a clear understanding of those things, they just go hand in hand. There's, at the core of it, you're speaking to an audience. Who is that audience? What are you selling? How are you providing them value? And what's the best way to get their eyes on what you're selling? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds real strategic. Yeah, it's just a plan, It's real calculated, definitely. But it's like following the steps, Then once they all align, you get the results of what you're looking for.
Right.
So what are some of the common challenges you see among your clients when it comes to establishing a strong personal brand? And how do you help them overcome these challenges?
Right. The challenges essentially lie in knowing what you want to do. A lot of people just have an idea, or I want to sell this product, or I want to do this thing, but they really don't have the goals set to figure out where they want to go. So I think that's number one. And I have a branding workbook for artists and entrepreneurs where it kind of walks you through all of those steps. We talk about your mission statement, your vision statement. Where do you see the company being, or the product or the brand being in 5-10 years? What's your tone of voice, and being consistent in that branding across all platforms. And then that way, when people come across you on each of these different platforms, they're all cohesive. The biggest challenge is creating that handbook, filling out that handbook, and really getting to the core of what you're trying to accomplish with the brand. That's the hard part. The easy part is the posting the content, the making the content, doing all that stuff. The hard part is figuring out the foundation. So it takes time and it takes effort. It takes really digging deep and understanding yourself, because you're not branding. I don't say I wouldn't work with companies for branding, but I'm focusing on personal branding. Like, who are you as a person? What are your, what are the things that you love? What are the things that you're passionate about? What are the things that you hate? What are the things that you feel strongly about? Things that you're strongly emotionally attached to? And then how can we package this into who you're presenting to the world? People don't understand that even though you're not working or you're not consciously building your personal brand, you're always building your personal brand, right? If you're the type of motherfucker that comes on Facebook and lets everybody know your problems all the time, you're always complaining on Facebook, you're like, oh, there's this bitch again, right? Yeah. You're that type of person. Or damn, this motherfucker's really on every single podcast. Or damn, this motherfucker's really at every single thing. This person's really out here on the scene. You're building your brand. So, once again, I think that the challenging part is taking control of that and owning that conversation of what your brand actually is, right? Versus just operating and letting people come up with what they think your brand is. And they're going to do that regardless. But if you can give them a strong guideline and a foundation of who you are, and you can be consistent in that, then you can help kind of shape that narrative around your brand.
Oh, that's real. That last part you said is real. Like you say, when you come up with the foundation, like you say, whatever the company called, whatever, and people start seeing your brand for what your vision was, now it's like the thought, becomes reality now, So like, what challenges have you faced during your own personal branding journey, and how did you overcome them?
Fuck, dude, I've rebranded 1 million times. Last year, I was knocking on doors trying to sell solar panels to people, which that's a funny story in itself. I needed a change. I'd always done sales, and I was like, fuck it, let me try this thing. And I did it for about 8 months. And what it really taught me was, bro, if I can get up and go knock on doors in this hot ass sun and get doors slammed in my face all day, then I can reignite my business. I can reignite the fire in myself to go really attack UTG and really attack my personal business and things like that, and put myself first. And if I can have that same intensity to do that, then motherfucker can accomplish anything. So even rebranding from that was a struggle, because I went from founder of UTG to like this dude that's fucking selling solar. And now thinking back on it, bro, I fucking hate it. I hate that I did it. Luckily, I was able to salvage my brand and get it back to where I want it to be, and just still growing that. But I think that you change as a person all the time, right? You start to have different views. You start to think different things. You start to hang around different people. You start to be interested in, all types of different things. So when you change as a person, your personal brand is going to change too. I go from being, the silly, outrageous dude, like doing crazy shit, making crazy music videos, to having my son now wanting to watch my music videos, and I can only show him 2 out of the fucking 10. Right. So you change, you change as a person, and that's going to affect your personal brand. So I would say that's the challenging part, is, especially being somebody who puts themselves out on the internet a lot and shares a lot. Just having to go through those changes in your life and then present these different parts of yourselves, the different parts of yourselves on a public forum, basically.
I feel that, man. Especially with experiences, that changes you as a person a lot too, and it's really just, to stay in that winner mindset. It's like you gotta keep channeling positive to keep building off it, So like, as we're in the era of information, and people receive information much faster these days in the era of social media versus when, it's just a newspaper. And with the ever evolving digital landscapes, like, how do you advise your clients to stay relevant and engaging in their branding efforts?
Well, you definitely need to start looking into AI. Because everybody's using it, and if you don't figure out how to use it for yourself, then you're going to get left behind. And just streamlining your process. I think that I love tech. I'm the type of dude that's gonna hop on every fucking tech call. Like if I get an email from somebody like, "Hey, we can make your agency better. We have this software." I'm gonna hop on the call because that's how I stay in the know. I want you to stay in the know. You gotta want to know. So I hop on all these calls. I sign up for all these marketing newsletters, music marketing, branding, all types of shit, dude. I'm always constantly signing up for something that's gonna give me information. I have a Coursera account, which is $50 a month to access all these courses. I'm a part of a bunch of different communities, like paid for subscription communities, where I'm able to learn things. I have a free Discord community where I'm dropping all types of free game for music artists. Y'all should definitely check that out. That's on the website. But yeah, man, I think that just being hungry for the knowledge and looking for it and setting, even signing up for a newsletter, bro. Just like giving yourself that leg up. When you're doing the research and you're constantly looking for ways to improve, I mean, you have no choice but to win. Now, by the time your friend tells you about it or somebody, it's too late for that. It's actually never too late, but you could have had an earlier start on, that new technology that could have benefited you. So I think that has to, and if it's not you doing it, then you need to have a manager. You need to have somebody on your team that's up to date with all that shit, especially with the way the algorithms change on social media.
Nah, for real. I feel like algorithms is one thing that's just constantly changing. But nah, I like when you say that too. Like, it's just like if anybody that's in the crypto or something, it's like you don't want to invest when everybody finds out about it. You want to already be ahead of the curve. So how do you leverage your industry connections and knowledge to benefit your clients' branding and marketing strategies?
It depends. I don't really just put a motherfucker on like that. I use those connections are more kind of for like people I manage.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously if it makes sense and I'm able to connect people with the right people who might do something different than I do or provide a different service, I'll do that. But what I really leverage for my clients is the knowledge and the time that I've put into my journey, right? And it's funny because I'll get a DM and people will be like, "Oh, I want to hop on a call and yada yada yada," and it's like, "All right, cool. Here's the link. It's $75," and you don't hear back from them, and I get it. You think you're paying $75 to hop on a call with somebody, but you're actually paying for 10,000 hours of learning. You're paying for hundreds of shows executed. You're paying for somebody who's built an agency from the ground up. You're paying for somebody who's been making music and engineering and writing songs for 20 years. Like that's what you're paying for. And I think that people need to understand that. You're paying for an opportunity to get one-on-one time with somebody who has accomplished some of the things that you want to accomplish. And I think that when you understand that value of what you're getting, and it's not just for me, it's for anybody, that any mentor, anybody that you're reaching out to, understand that time is money, dude. Like we've spent hours and hours and hours and failed a lot of times and lost a lot of money to get the knowledge that we have, and that's experience. So I think that people need to have an understanding and a respect for that.
Nah, for real. I feel like nowadays people just gotta understand it's a pay to play thing, Like it's not.
And when you do that, like a motherfucker is more apt to look out for you and take what you're doing seriously. Like that just shows me if you're willing to invest a little bit of money in yourself, like I'm gonna go to the moon for you, dog. If I got an opportunity for you, or you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, I can't just give that to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. So, once again, I think that's important for people to realize, like this shit, if you're really trying to do it, it's an investment of your time and your money. It's not for free. That's why people, they got a really bad label deal. No, they really put you on. They put a machine behind you and you got to pay them for it. So Yeah, man. I think that when people have that understanding and they start respecting their business a lot more and other people's time a lot more, they're going to be a lot more successful.
Definitely. So, can you describe what a typical consultation or coaching session would be like from Flyodie? Like, just a little brief, consultation. Like, how would it be?
Yeah, man. So we get on, and the first thing we're going to talk about is what you want to accomplish. Cool. Once I have an idea of what you want to accomplish, I'm going to look at your socials and say, yeah, we're on the right track. This is kind of speaking to what you just told me, or hey, we're completely off track. We got to completely flip and rebrand this whole thing. I really encourage them to get the workbook that I have. That really would give us a great foundation on where to start. Because the first consultation, if you don't get that book, is kind of just me asking you the questions that you would have done in the book already. But also, that's just an opportunity to like ask me anything. It can be a branding consultation, but it's also an opportunity if you're a music artist and you just need some direction on what you're doing with your music, then that's a conversation that we can have as well. But the consultation, we're really just looking at your social medias and if that aligns with the brand that you're trying to portray.
Fact. Nah, I feel that. It's like doing an audit. Just like, all right, what's going on here? Like,
right. Exactly what it is.
So what are Flyodie's goals and the aspirations for the next phase of your career?
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, we're working on an app for UTG, which is pretty exciting. I'm really trying to streamline the booking process for clients and for the talent. Personally, I just started my own podcast that's called The Flyodie Show. That should be airing within the next month or two. And I really I feel like I'm in my my educator era. I really enjoy speaking on panels, being on podcasts, sharing my journey, hearing about other people's journeys. I want to write a book within the next year. So those are pretty much the goals. I want to, continue to grow the agency. I want to continue to grow my personal brand, and I want to write a book, and just leave content and stuff behind for when I'm no longer here. And my boys need a reminder of who Pops was and what Pops accomplished and the lessons that, their dad instilled in them. When they need those reminders, they'll be able to hop on YouTube and see it.
Facts. And that's what I feel like, like you say, when you personal branding or you involved in any type of, branding with a podcast and music, whatever, you're literally leaving something behind, So it's like when you get that kind of thought, it's like a time capsule. It's like, all right, this amount of years or whatever, the work that I did or whatever, like you say, it can be passed along, whether, like you say, from the shows, it can be gems that'll give longevity, any wise words or something to get gained from,
100%. I had recently, it's crazy. I did a podcast with a childhood friend, and I said, like, at the end, I was like, I'm commending him. Like, he's somebody that's been in and out of rehab, been in and out of jail, beat all the odds, started a podcast to tell his story. Mm-hmm. And I was his 95th episode. And I was like, look, it's really dope what you're doing here. One day when you're no longer here, you got all this stuff that people are going to be able to come back and see. And he died 5 days later. It was fucking crazy, man. Bro. And that was, and I'm not thinking the episode was going to air, right? Obviously. But it ended up, I guess his team put it out, and just hearing that, and what he said after that was, you got a birthday and you got a death date, and that's both on your tombstone. But what you do with that little dash in the middle is what's the most important. So, he's gone, but we got 95 episodes of his testimony, right? And that's kind of something that I want to have as well. Like, imagine having that from your parents or your grandparents or
right.
I think that even in the Black community, I think if we had those things and really saw the struggles and like the sacrifices that that our ancestors and our family went through, and we understood how powerful we were and the things that we really overcame. If we had that footage and that knowledge, it would be a completely different story. So, yeah, man, I think that's really a reason why I do the podcast and all the things that I'm doing, is because I want to leave a digital footprint. I want to inspire people forever.
Facts. And I feel like it's mandatory, especially in the era that we in now, like years to come or whatever, it's just like, all right, like you say, the era of our grandparents, not like we don't have all of that, it's like either you just got pictures, black and white pictures, ain't too much really to look back on,
Right.
or a couple items or whatever, memorabilia and stuff. But now it's like, hey, you can hear my voice, you can see what I was talking about, you can feel my energy, like, it's a bunch of different. It's actually a good thing, though.
Yeah, 100%.
So, what do you manifest for Ultimate Talent Global before the year is out, and what like that you already see in the work in progress?
Well, we're coming up on our 6th annual Ultimate Fashion Show for charity, where proceeds go to a charity of whoever we're partnered up with. That's going to be I foresee that being our biggest one yet. I also see us getting this app done, and once again, like I said, streamlining the booking process, making it easier for brands and talent to connect and to do business together. So those are the two main things that I'm focused on when it comes to UTG.
That's what's up. So, looking ahead, what trends do you foresee in personal branding for recording artists, entrepreneurs, and creators in the next few years?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, once again, I think AI. I think leveraging AI to enhance your brand presence is going to be key, and it's going to be very important. Once again, it's not going anywhere, and other people are going to use it, and AI is just better than you. It's what it is. Like, it's literally taking all sources that have ever been put out and putting it together. So in a nutshell, that's what it's doing. So if you're not leveraging that and you're not getting on that train, then you're gonna be left behind, and it's gonna be very hard to catch up. So I think that paying attention to those trends, I think paying attention to any tech or software that can help you. I mean, even things like Canva, bro, like knowing how to do your own things, how to set up a brand kit on Canva so that all your content is cohesive. I think that those are the two trends to kind of like pay attention to, is the tech and AI, and how you can leverage those to once again enhance your brand presence.
I feel that, man. Like you say, just utilizing the resources. It was one time where we say resources was limited. Now it's like it's really no excuse. Like
overload, yeah.
You got Google search away, and all type of ways to get the information. So any upcoming events or projects you would like to share, as well as shout outs or recognition you would like to give to those who've been supporting you along the way?
Yeah, so I mean, coming up, we have our Ultimate Summer Runway Fashion Show and Pool Party. It's our second one that we're doing this summer. That's on August 17th. August 15th is my birthday. I'll be 33. What else do we got going on? Shout out to my wife, Julina. She holds it down. She's been really letting me do my thing and grow in my personal journey and hold it down at the crib and allowing me to do that. So shout out to babes. Shout out to my kids for being crazy in who they are and keeping me grounded and keeping me focused. Shout out to UTG and everybody who's a part of that. My partner, Rich, Kayla, Anna, holding it together. And then, some artists that I want to recognize in the city. Shout out Big Jada. Shout out the Twins, Lil and Lau. Shout out my boy Click Clack, pulled up on me today. And anybody that's doing their thing in the city and pushing the culture and pushing what we have to offer here. I got your back. Keep doing what you do.
Nah, facts, brother. And most definitely, you know, shout out to you, bro, for taking time out your schedule to kick with the underdogs, man. You know, appreciate the free gems, you know, you gave. Appreciate the story, man. You know, just really just wish you much more success, you know, in everything that you're doing, you know, for the years to come. And you always got our support over here. And like we always tell everybody, you know, once you give your time to us, it's almost like, you know, it's indefinite support over here. So we always gonna repost, and, you know, as we continue to grow and everything, any way we can help out. But last but not least, man, before we get you out of here, what does the word underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Underdog means to me is somebody who's not supposed to win, but gives themselves the best opportunity to do so by staying consistent, by staying focused, and by not being defeated by failure.
Man, y'all heard it first, man. Season 5, episode 21. The Art of Influence, Crafting Your Brand Story. Featuring Orlando's own songwriter, producer, audio engineer, CEO of Ultimate Talent Global. We had Flyodie in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Take it easy, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be in touch, man.
Likewise, bro. Appreciate you having me.
Already.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened. I got stone around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew. Gold mouth,